And as the cabinet is almost completely sealed, pulls air from the bottom up and out the exhaust fans on the top here, it stays really... Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So this one at first glance might seem a little strange, but bear with me. I promise this is actually both very practical and emotionally very satisfying. I'm talking about simple tidying up and cleaning of your theater space, whether that's a dedicated theater or, like here, just a normal living room. We all have dusty homes. We all have simple maintenance that has to be done at least every few weeks, and it can make a huge difference. So let me just show you around here real quick. This is real life, how my space usually looks between tidying up. Now, I've got a wife with long hair, and I've got two miniature dachshunds that love to play. And this one especially right here. Say hi, Cooper. No, you're going to be a little croissant. Okay. This one loves to bury his toys in the blankets and wrap them around the table. He'll actually pull this table all the way around the rug, pull stuff in and out of the room. So it's always covered in toys and hair and all that kind of good stuff. And every week or two, I will do a light dusting, and every month or so, do a nice deep cleaning. I'm just going to show you some tips and tricks. And it does make a huge difference when you go from normal everyday mess to nice and pristine. But it's very simple and fast to do, and probably free because you probably have everything you need at home. But I'll show you some stuff that I found to work really well. So first of all, I think everybody knows about Swiffers. You slide the little pad on, you pick up your dust, dirt, and debris, and you check it when you're done. But did you know that they have double-sided ones, twice the pad for not twice the price? These are what they call the heavy-duty ones. And note, do not waste your money on the third-party cheap ones. Even though they are significantly cheaper, I tried them. They suck. After several returns to Amazon, I just found a good deal on the actual Swiffer brand. They pick up the dust and they trap it and hold it. The cheap ones, they don't. It's absolutely terrible that they're even sold. You go and try to pick stuff up and it literally just falls right out back onto your surface. So stick with the brand name Swiffers. But the point is, get the heavy duty ones and you get double the cleaning time out of each pad. Plus you get a whole bunch more extensions. This thing actually goes way up so you can get things like ceiling fans and all that kind of good stuff without buying extra tools. Very good deal there. I used to use canned air. Used to go through this a lot, both for cleaning stuff and projects and all that. Now my wife started getting into tech and started to do a lot of things with phone cases and screen protectors and all that kind of stuff. Good. It got really expensive because, man, I was buying these things every month. So what I found was, get yourself a good rechargeable blower and you will save tons of money on canned air. This is the one I've been using for the past couple years. Fast charges via USB-C for less than the cost of one case of canned air. This is all you need. Super fast. Blows like a hurricane. For flat surfaces where you really need it to be clean, this is what I use for my top-down shots. I'll mount a camera here, put it under the ring light, and you can see that this is just a plastic rubber mat, and it gets dusty because, well, there's dust in the air. Just get yourself a lint roller or a case of them, and it picks everything up. Now, like me, you may be in a fairly dark environment. This camera is actually exposing way higher than it looks in real life here in the room. I have the house completely light controlled, mainly for energy efficiency. Any windows that get direct sunlight have tint and blinds. There's no direct sunlight that actually hits in the living space to heat it up. These back windows here, these back glass doors, they never get direct sunlight, even during the part of the year when the sun is setting just over past the trees there. The sun line stops about there. So all we have is nice indirect light coming in here. But it has an effect of you not noticing all the dust. Now I notice it because I'm looking for it, but day to day, it's easy to just, I don't see anything. There's nothing there. But if you look closely, you see the dust. it accumulates. It's definitely there. All right, so here's some tips. First of all, I love Swiffer, as I mentioned. Hit your upper surfaces and work down. This is no different than cleaning any other part of your house. But just pay attention to where the dust is going to fall. The last thing you're going to do is vacuum and clean the floor. So don't start low and work high. Start high. In my case, that's my TV and the tops of my speakers. For TVs, it's always best to clean dry. If you have anything on the screen that needs to be worked off harder, use a very slightly damp cloth with water. Cotton cloth is best, microfiber is fine too, but that should be all you need. If there's anything else that's not coming off on your TV, well, it really depends on what it is. You know, I don't know if your kid threw something or what, but I can't imagine what would be on there that a slightly damp cloth wouldn't take off if it's just normal dirt from the environment. But just dusting should be all you need if you don't have any damage. All right, so then come down. Just gonna hit this little mantle shelf. Now we can hit this speaker. I'm just gonna flip the Swiffer over every now and then, get some more nooks and crannies to pick up the dust. Sides are usually good. Swiffer even works pretty well on the grill. I just hit it real lightly. Do the mains over here, hit the sides, just both brushing the dust off and picking up what we can with the Swiffer. Now I wait until the very end to get underneath, to get these parts down here, because it's gonna load up with dirt and then we're gonna toss the pad. So go ahead and use it up when it's done, but don't get a real dirty area and then start back up at the top on another speaker. That's like washing the wheels of your car and then coming up and doing the sides or the roof. Start with the light stuff first. Brush off the top of the subs here. Now these subs have this coating that sometimes will snag because it's got some hard texture to it. It's not like truck bed liner stuff, but it has texture to it. And it's kind of sharp. It looks great. It's a satin finish. And they completely disappear with the lights out, but they will snag this really soft stuff, kind of like Velcro. So if you have that, just be careful. Don't put a lot of pressure on it because it will snag and start to rip the pad apart, and just pick off any strays that come out. That's all you have to do there. Get off any dog fur that might be stuck to the grills. Clean this off and get the top of my cabinet. And here's another tip. If you really want to be sure you're getting everything, turn on more lights. Alexa, turn on the living room lights. That's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna go over this afterwards with a little cloth. Here you can see the light layer of dust, and this is just normal household stuff. Nothing special, but our doors here are open several times every day, just letting the dogs in and out. So there is always dust that's gonna be coming in and out. Can't be helped. Even if you have a sealed room with its own HVAC system, you still have dust coming in the HVAC system. There's no way to have a hermetically sealed room going there. Get the other sub. Lightly get the front of the grill. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I'm quickly just gonna blow over everything, just the top parts, just to make sure that anything that was in the air from Swiffering hasn't settled back down. And I try to just go in one direction, so if anything is going to be kicked up, it's just going to move that way out of the way. So I've got a kitchen towel here. I just ran part of it under the sink, wrung it out, and then squished it all together. So it's just damp. You can't run any water out of it. There's no liquid water that's going to come out of this. And I'm just going to quickly give everything a once over. Again, just to pick up anything left. And it's particularly noticeable on gloss surfaces like piano gloss black, which unfortunately so many audio companies are fond of using. These are a dark, dark red mahogany here. but they're still quite glossy. All right. Now, if you see any streaks and they're not going to dry in just a few seconds, just take the dry part of your towel and kiss it one more time. And that's all you need to do to hit your surfaces. Now, you can hit your components. Alexa, turn on the media cabinet. So same thing. However, you can get to your components. Mine in here isn't too dirty at the moment because I did it fairly recently. And as the cabinet is almost completely sealed, pulls air from the bottom up and out the exhaust fans on the top here, it stays relatively dust-free. I may have to hit it every 6 months. That's about it. But if you see dust accumulating, you just hit it. That's about all I need to do every now and then. The fronts pretty much always stay nice and dust-free. Might just have to get in there and hit the tops of the shelves or the tops of the equipment. And that's about it. But your results will vary, especially if you have an open shelf or just a stack of equipment. That'll definitely need a cleaning. Don't forget your surrounds. These top shelves on the rear surrounds here get quite dusty and dirty, being a horizontal surface. And the tops of the seats. Let's see if you guys can see it. I can see a little line of dust because our heads never hit back here. So they just sit there and collect dust. This is also a great surface to use the damp cloth on because a lot of times the dust has been accumulating on the leather and the Swiffer won't completely pick it up, but the cloth will. Just quickly go and do all of the seats here. Flipping it over every few surfaces just to get a good surface distribution on the pads. And check your pads every now and then. They'll kind of start to turn gray as they get impregnated with dirt and dust. This one has plenty of life left. And you can fluff it. I don't know if you're old like me and you remember pencil trolls. Just, it's hard here with 2 hands, but you can spin it and fluff it out like a troll and then get more life out of it. Get your armrests. All right, now I'm going to put away all these puppy toys. Get yourself a basket to collect stuff. We got a basket here for the toys, basket there for the blankets. When we have people over, everyone loves a blanket, especially the women. So we got a big selection there. I'm going to put my table back in the right position. That looks fine. Dog toy destroyed. Pick up any remotes and brush off all the debris off the seats onto the floor. Now, if your seats have catch-alls for popcorn and stuff like that, make sure you clean those out as well. Damp cloth on the seat works very well. This spot always gets dirty because it's where we put our puppy treats when we put their harnesses on every day. And they grab it, so that gets a little slimy. Get the tabletop surface. Get all the debris down onto the floor. Okay. Now, if you don't have big debris, you could skip this step, but I do. So I hit everything really quick with a vacuum. And we do have a robot vacuum. My wife absolutely loves it. I absolutely hate it. We've had, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them as they get more advanced. To me, it's a complete waste of time. It is so inefficient and doesn't do as good as a job of doing it yourself. It takes 20 minutes for this thing to do what I can do in 60 seconds. That's the bottom line. And I can't stand the noise while I'm here. Now for cleaning the hardwood, if you've got hardwood or tile, I got 3 things that'll make your life a lot easier. So if you got just normal traffic areas like this, just a spritzer full of water is all you need with a good microfiber mop head. I've just got this mop here. They don't make it anymore, but man, It's a really nice thing. I don't know why they stopped making it. It's extendable, totally movable. It's huge, and you can put on any mop head you want. I got these microfiber ones, super cheap, and they've been holding up like gangbusters. Throw them in the washer, clean them every time. But for just normal floor cleaning, all you need to use with it is a spritz of water. So hit that first, and then mop it up, give it a good clean and polish. If you have areas with hard debris or streaks, we've got these little rubber balls that the dogs love to chase, and when they hit the floor, they kind of leave a streak. Let me find one here in the light for you. All right, so you can kind of see them there, down straight ahead on the floor. Just hit it with a little regular diluted cleaner like this Fabuloso, whatever you like. Hit it first with that, get those streaks off with the mop, and then we'll be good for the final step, which is the real magic. This is the game changer right here, Bona. I just use the original formula. It works great. My floor is bamboo, but they've got solutions for just about any kind of surface. This stuff does multiple things. First, it cleans. It doesn't scrub. It's not a degreaser or anything like that. It's very gentle, but it will do a nice surface clean. It cleans up all the dust and debris that's left, and it gives a nice polish that sticks around without any residue. I only have to use this about once a month. All you do is give the surfaces a light little spritz. I just go in sections big enough where I can stand in one spot and mop in a square or a rectangle without having to step into it. Just give each area a nice little mist, and you can see it does a fantastic job. No pressure needed, no rinsing or anything needed. It'll be completely dry to the touch in just a few minutes, so you can walk on it. And look at the difference that makes to the color and the shine. Love Bona. Oh, and I almost forgot. Got distracted making the video, doing the underside of the speakers here to get all this kind of stuff. And this will load the pad up, and I'll chuck the pads as soon as I'm done with this part. If you have any smudges, I got some dog nose prints and toy prints and stuff down there. Go ahead and hit those with a rag. And I do underneath as well, since the vacuum doesn't typically get anything under there. Now you can see all the gunk and dust bunnies and all that kind of good stuff. And I should have done this step before the vacuuming, but blow it all out too underneath everything. Just pretend that was before the vacuum. We won't tell anyone. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, when something looks better, it is better. Does it change the way anything sounds or visually looks when you're watching a movie or TV show? No. But does it make you smile when you come into the room and it looks like a freaking showroom? Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't even matter if you're the only one that even cares. Do it for yourself. It's quick, it's easy, and it does make an emotional difference. Hope it helps. See you next time.